As the saber-rattling intensifies on both sides of the Korean peninsula, ABC's Martha Raddatz takes us where cameras have never ventured, a top-secret section of a military base near one of the most heavily fortified borders in the world. As North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un threatens the United States with nuclear weapons, some fear that tough talk could provoke a tough-talking President Trump.
Not 48 hours after a show of pageantry and force and a provocative but failed missile test. Escalating tough talk from North Korea with no sign of backing down.
The thermonuclear war may break out at any moment.
Their vice foreign minister telling the BBC we'll be conducting more missile tests on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. With tensions on the rise, ABC News was granted rare access to the men and women on the front lines.
Everything that's flying right now, these guys are managing.
Yes, ma'am.
Even as Vice President Mike Pence arrived, visiting the border separating the two Koreas and sending a message north across the demilitarized zone.
The world witnessed the strength and resolve of our new president. North Korea would do well not to test his resolve.
Back in Washington, Donald Trump sending a similar message.
Any message from North Korea?
You gotta behave.
In a less militaristic venue. All eyes now on the peninsula and this latest and perhaps biggest foreign policy test for the new American president.
This is really the first time since 1953 that any U.S. president has escalated the relationship and the tension with North Korea to a degree that something has to be resolved.
And if North Korea pulls the trigger, this is likely target number one. Osan Air Base, just 48 miles from North Korea, well within range of Kim Jong-un's existing arsenal of missiles, carrying God knows what.
So a hardened bunker, this is serious stuff.
Yes, ma'am. This is your third set of blast doors here.
The first line of defense is always on guard. 24/7, F-16s on constant patrol, anti-missile batteries primed and ready. Behind these concrete walls and steel doors, the top secret and rarely seen operations center.
How do you check in here?
On high alert, watching for any North Korean missile activity.
We live with it every day. The nice thing is for my folks, the mission is staring them in the face.
They're monitoring the possibility that one day one of those missiles could reach as far away as the west coast of the United States.
Once they're able to range and to hit targets within the continental 48, it now becomes an American problem. What used to be a regional or a Korean problem has now marched across the Pacific and become an American problem.
But there's no doubt Osan is within range. The threat here is up close, dangerous, and continuous.
One of the things you sort of sense as soon as you come on base is how real the threat is.
Absolutely. And what we do here specifically is we are trained day in, day out to be fight tonight ready, as we say it.
The slogan here, fight tonight, and you hear it often and always with a sense of pride.
There aren't many places I go into where it says fight tonight in giant letters. It's a little frightening.
For us, it's our day-to-day training. We're always training at that level to be able to fight tonight because we don't know when that call is going to come.
About 4 stories underground. The operations center is survivable against some of the high explosive blasts. That's why we're so deep.
We visited another top secret facility, the first time ever for a camera crew. If a missile is aimed at South Korea, the job here, blow it out of the sky. North Korea has conducted 5 underground nuclear tests in the last 10 years. But missile launches are far more common, several this year alone. Every one closely monitored on these screens, including failed launches.
What's it like in here when a ballistic missile is launched?
Well, you would think it would be hectic, but due to the level of training of the soldiers here, it's actually a pretty calm exercise. I would compare it to maybe an air traffic controller tower.
Right next door, rows and rows of bunk beds. If war comes to South Korea, the staff will sleep right here.
And you got food, you got everything you need.
We have food, showers, latrines.
Lieutenant General Thomas Burgesson is deputy commander of all U.S. and UN forces in South Korea. What concerns you most?
So our biggest concern is that he's going to miscalculate.
That's always the #1 concern. So we want to make it crystal clear to the North Korean leadership that this would be a completely futile endeavor were he to challenge this strong, ironclad bilateral alliance.
Because we have a new president, and he, no doubt, Kim Jong-un wants to test him in the same way that dynamic works. Is this, from your time here, from watching here, one of the more dangerous times?
I would say that there's certainly, you can feel the tensions, but clearly this is serious. And they need to know that we are prepared and that this defensive alliance is strong and ready to fight tonight.
Part of that defense, Patriot missile batteries.
And you'll notice here in Korea, we keep our launchers loaded with live interceptors at all times, so that we're ready to fight tonight.
Tell me a little bit about the batteries, just in terms of what they can stop, how they stop them, how that works.
Yes, ma'am. Well, this weapon system is capable of defeating a wide range of enemy capabilities, from unmanned aerial systems to short-range and even long-range ballistic missiles. This battery is designed to search for, detect, and engage those inbound ballistic missiles.
At Osan, they're confident in this system, claiming the success rate of the Patriot is nearly 100%.
And it's a bullet-on-bullet scenario where the Patriot missile hits the threat missile and destroys it.
Far less successful, the recent North Korean missile tests, causing some to speculate the U.S. might be responsible for the rash of missile launch failures bedeviling the North Koreans, perhaps using cyber warfare. No proof of that, and no comment from the White House.
These are delaying tactics. These are not going to stop the North Korean missile program. They're not going to stop the nuclear program.
A few miles from the Patriots, out on the flight line, are the Growlers.
So they have jamming capability, electronic jamming capability, so they can deny the enemy the capability to launch surface-to-air missiles at our aircraft.
Well, as far as the mission goes,
Facing the ever-present threat from North Korea, Major Sean Walsh, up in the skies, training at least 3 times a week, often near that prohibited area close to North Korea.
The other night I was up there on Monday night, just around sunset, and you get to see the stark contrast, because as the lights start to come on and you fly along the DMZ, you can look out one window and it's as bright as day with the city of Seoul and then all of South Korea. And then you look out the other side of your cockpit and it is just darkness.
But make no mistake, it's that darkness which causes concern. The lack of hard intelligence, the unpredictability have created a region on edge.
Kim Jong-un is basically saying that he could strike and take out any of the American military bases. Could that happen?
No. No, they could try, but as you saw today, out here you have Air Defense Artillery Brigade, and they have the technology, the capability, and they're ready to intercept those kinds of missiles. So they could try, it would be futile.
As the war of words escalates, it's helpful to remember that we've been here before. But as some Asia watchers point out, the difference this time, a new and yet to be tested president.
The South Koreans are used to this. They've lived in the shadow of the North Korean threat for 50, 60, 70 years. It's not unusual for them to hear these bellicose remarks from the North. What they aren't used to is hearing it also from the White House.
How President Trump navigates this latest crisis will be watched and scrutinized closely, just as the American forces in Osan are watching, waiting, and ready to fight tonight. Martha Raddatz for Nightline in Seoul, South Korea.